Alright, I thought I'd do a little update on my physical issues and conditions. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday with my primary care physician, and we went over not only my surgery, but what I can expect in the upcoming months, if not years. And so basically, he ended up sending me over to have an x-ray done in this area here, which was the primary area for my on-the-job injury. And it was this artery here that had collapsed, or was compressed, or was crushed, however you want to look at it. And right here, a stent was put in to get that blood flow going back into the main artery in my arm. Well, unfortunately, while I was in the hospital undergoing the surgery and everything, and like I said, they had to clear out a lot of blockage. So you have this artery which splits off at the elbow and comes down into your hand. And you can see how it swirls around right here. Well, they opened up this artery here to where they were able to get some blood flow going back into my hand. But unfortunately, this artery here is blocked off. And therefore I am getting a lot of numbness and pins and needles tingling in my thumb and these two fingers here. In which they were able to determine this because I have a pulse here, but I don't have a pulse showing up over here. Something else that has been brought about to my attention is that my primary care physician feels that I snapped or tore the tendon that goes to my pinky or my little finger. In which, because of all this that's going on, and plus I believe that when I actually popped this area here that freed up my shoulder after 5 years, this bone and these bones here had tried to reposition themselves, at which it stopped right here at my wrist. At one point I had one of these small bones here actually kind of protruding outward from my wrist. That has gone back in, but it showed me that these bones, all these bones, are displaced, they're out of whack, and so that causes that many more issues without this whole region of my hand. So I have a future appointment with a surgeon that did the surgery on my artery here. And depending on how that goes, because I will have to have yet another ultrasound in order to see how this blood work is going. But I cannot have anything done with this tendon, my shoulder, or anything else until after I have this ultrasound to study the blood flow. And then what will be happening is I will have an MRI done to my hand and my wrist to find out what all is going on here. And there's talk of physical therapy and all that too. So I am looking at quite a long haul just with my arm. And thing is a lot of what had occurred is because of when you go up here into my neck and my vertebrae and my vertebrae column and all the issues that I have here, it is just a massive domino effect that has to be reversed. And I don't know how that is going to happen because they are going basically reverse engineering my body, if you will. They are starting with the symptoms down here and not the issue up here and here. So that's a concern to me. But they are the so-called health professionals. I will end up seeing quite a few different physicians now, specialists, neurological. Oh, what's your bone doctor? Yeah, okay. Once again, it's early morning, lack of sleep, so just please bear with me. But anyways, yeah, the bone doctor, the neurologist, the vascular surgeon, and who knows what other doctors might end up being involved in just one arm, which is my left arm. This is showing the right arm diagram here, but still, it's all basically the same, just reversed. Not fun. And but on a nicer note, once again, I will be spending a little bit of time with my brother today, and we have plans to visit with my mother a few days before Mother's Day, of course, and which it will be now the third time that I have seen her since this so-called pandemic began. The second time that I seen her, we were actually in the hospital at the same time for our own issues. Me being in the hospital for that surgery that I had, and remember, I have a stent up here, okay, and that is of concern too. But anyways, so my mother had her own issues, and it was just a strange overall day when I was admitted to the hospital that she was also admitted to the hospital on the same day. Same hospital, too. But then I had to be transferred to the main hospital. So it will be nice to see my mother once again, even if it is for a very short period of time. But there is my overall situation right now. Of course, I have quite a few other health issues because a lot of my conditions are chronic. They're just going to get worse in time, and it does not matter the surgeries, such as with my cervical region, as far as my neck, a lot of fusion that might have to happen. Who knows? But when you're locked up for 5 years to where you cannot raise your arm above chest level, and then I actually got this to free up, and I am now able to lift my arm up over my head that I have not been able to do for 5 years. But none of this would have happened unless I would have, gotten that to free up. Because I was able to do that, and because of the surgery and everything, it really played a big part in my legal case that I have going with workers' comp and with the Social Security Administration. I had to go through extreme amount of pain to the point of almost losing my whole arm. This is something that was stipulated time and time again, that had I waited any longer, my whole arm might have had to have been amputated. So, but things, everything happens for a reason, and everything has its own timetable. It took over 5 years for me to prove my point that I know my body better than the physicians. And it's pretty pathetic when you have to almost lose your arm in order to prove a point. Yeah. So I will leave it there. I think that's a good enough update. I still have issues because of my bone displacement that's going on. My elbow needs to pop in order to hopefully realign all of the bone structure here. they're probably going to want to try to do surgery and incorporate pins and all kinds of garbage in my arm. If I can do it naturally and get that domino effect to happen by popping here and getting these displaced bones back into position, it might even alleviate the situation with my artery here and hopefully be able to, restore the blood flow. But that's still up in the air, and time will tell. That's where they got me. So on that note, it's over 10 minutes long. Sorry for the length, but full explanation. And that's the explanations that I've gotten thus far. Have a great one, and I will see you on the flip side.